In the previous lesson, I talked about my influences, and in this lesson, I'm going to talk about the materials we're going to use for the course. First, we have the sketchbook. Any sketchbook will do. This is how I usually judge a sketchbook, is that I touch the paper. I think that's really important to like the texture of the paper. Some people prefer their paper to be really rough, and some people prefer their paper to be really smooth. I do think that touching the paper is a good way of knowing if the paper is good for you. I genuinely like all sorts of paper. If a paper has a lot of texture to it, I just treat it as a book that has a lot of texture. So I try to explore that texture. But if it's really smooth, then it changes my materials, it changes my decisions. So I'll use different types of pens with it. One of the things I really like about choosing a sketchbook is sometimes I feel daunted by the blank page. So sometimes I'll seek out maybe a lined notebook because having the lines pre-printed on the page takes a little bit of that pressure away. The page has already been tampered with, so I'll treat it differently, but it also just takes the pressure of the blank page away from me. I really like having a small notebook sometimes because I can put it in my pocket and I can draw on the go. Some of my sketchbooks are very large, and I choose that because I want to do some large drawings. So it's really subjective. You just have to pick out the sketchbook that's best for you. Here's my pencil. It's a Dixon Ticonderoga, which is the pencil I grew up drawing with. It was the pencil I used in school. It's just a very familiar drawing tool to me, but a lot of different pencils have different abilities. So if you have a harder lead, you can draw lighter, which is really nice, so you don't have to erase so much. There are blue pencils. They're like this light blue called non-photo blue pencils, which are these pencils that cartoonists use so they can print directly from their drawing without doing any erasing. I personally don't mind erasing, and this pencil is very comfortable for me, and I use it because I like being comfortable when it comes to drawing. You can also find them anywhere. They're at your corner drugstore or at the grocery store, and sometimes they come in gigantic packs, like 48 pencils in a pack. So you never really have to search and look very hard for these. In order to use the pencil, you'll need a pencil sharpener. The metal ones are really nice because they last forever. Get to the eraser. This is a Mars plastic eraser. The white erasers, I really like them. A lot of cartoonists use them, but really you just need an eraser that doesn't leave a mark on the page. So sometimes if you have an old eraser like at the end of your pencil and you're erasing and it leaves like a pink streak, that's a bad eraser. So just get an eraser that erases the pencil lines without leaving a mark. And also, if you're using a blue pencil or something like that, you might not even need to erase at all. So this is a number 2 watercolor brush. I use it for inking lines. I use it for filling in large areas of black with ink. It's a very versatile tool, so it's always good to have one. It teaches you how to work with something that's pressure sensitive. You really can use it to learn how to use any other tool. Like if you're good at using a brush, in my opinion, you can be really good at using charcoal. You can be really good at using mud and a stick. It's just learning how drawing with pressure changes a drawing. These are the nibs. You'll see that they come in different shapes and sizes. They each do something different, but again, it's another pressure-sensitive drawing tool that has slightly more control than a brush. It also gives you the satisfaction of having a connection to the paper. One of the things that is slightly complicated about a brush is that when you're drawing with a brush, it doesn't really feel like you're drawing with anything, but when you're drawing with a nib, you can feel that contact with the paper. So for the nib sets, I suggest getting a Speedball cartooning set or drawing or map making set. They all have really nice nibs in them. They really can make any line perfectly. We will doodle different line thicknesses and patterns to learn how each nib works. So this is my India ink. This is Black Cat. I also really like Speedball Super Black, just like a really rich carbon-based India ink. Most cartoonists use India ink, but you can get all sorts of different colors of ink. The blacker the ink is, the better, I think. This is the Bristol paper. It comes in packs of 20. It's the 300 series. It's the one with the yellow cover. It comes in different series. The brown cover is the 200 series and the white cover is the 100 series. Each series is slightly thicker. The paper itself, it comes in either vellum or smooth. So the vellum has a slight bit of tooth to it, which is nice for drawing with a brush. And smooth is like glass, and it's really nice for drawing with a nib. This is the bleed proof white. There's different brands, but it's an acrylic white that is basically the opposite of ink. If you want to draw white on top of black, it's really nice for using a brush and a nib. You can also use it to correct mistakes. Another option is whiteout. It's much cheaper, and if you're just starting out, it works just fine. I will also be using some basic materials as well, like a ruler, a scissors, a water holder, and an ink holder. And now that you know the basic materials for the course, in the next lesson we're going to start practicing with ink.